Hi, this is Sean Weaver with Six String Country, and in this lesson we'll be taking a look at the old tune, I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. It's a tune from the early part of the 20th century, I think from maybe 1918. I know it, and you may well be familiar with it from the Chet Atkins recording. It was on Mr. Guitar, one of the great classic Chet Atkins albums, and so Chet had a lot of great old arrangements, and he did a great thing with I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. So the version I'll be showing you today adds some of my own stuff into the mix. We're going to play through it the first time in the key of E, which if Chet ever did that, he never recorded it that way. So I'll be showing you the whole thing, finger picking it in E, and then we'll modulate into A, which is the key that Chet recorded it in, and then go into a little solo that's actually harmonized. It's a series of double stops in the solo, but not like chicken picking, kind of like fast, that sort of double stop world, but just a harmonized solo. And it's a great little solo. And so that'll be the structure. I'm playing it on electric guitar. If you have a Gretsch, or Chet was using some of the Gibson Country Gentleman, anything like a 6120 or a Gretsch Country Gentleman. It's great on electric guitar. You don't need to play it on electric guitar though, if you don't have one. There's no use of the vibrato arm throughout it, so it's just a nice mid-tempo, classic kind of finger picking thing. And I'll be keeping my guitar, for the lesson at least, mostly on the middle pickup. Once in a while, sounds great with Gretches if you have a pair of Gretsch pickups, but T.V. Jones makes really great pickups, like Filtertron, Supertron pickups, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I sometimes will run these pickups both, but for the lesson I'll keep it on a fat sound on the neck pickup, and just a clean sound, a little bit of echo, and right into the amplifier. So without further ado, we'll get into the lesson now. Starting the tune out, we're going to play through the whole form in the key of E, and Chet did not ever do this, or he did not ever record it if he did. But you can play this in the key of E, and then when you modulate into A, which is where he played it, it just adds another element to the arrangement, especially if you're like on a solo gig and you want to stretch this out a little bit longer, especially because when you get into the solo, that's something that doesn't happen when you're playing completely unaccompanied solo fingerstyle guitar. So, if you were like stringing this together as a medley with some other stuff, you might still get a little bit more mileage out of it by, I'm going to play it in E and then modulate up to A and finger pick it in A also and then go somewhere else. So, so I played through the whole thing in E at the top, and it's just starting out of an E shape, very basic. And the melody is going to be, that's measure 1, measure 2. So take those 2 measures first. There's your melody, and the bass accompaniment is just going to be 6th string, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string. And I do strum through, I guess, onto the 3rd string. So just like that, and then to the B7 chord, 2, 1, 2, and then the melody is here on the 3rd string, 1, 2, and 3, 4 on the 2nd string, 3rd string to 2nd string, and so this is the second half of the theme in the key of A, finger picking it, and it's going to start out in measure 49, Chet does something really cool here. And so cool that I didn't do it when I played it in E, but I thought about doing it. I wanted to save it for when I was really doing the way that Chet played it, give or take a few little subtle details. So he starts out with his fingers in this A shape, 7th fret 4th string, 9th fret 3rd string, 9th fret high E string, and the melody goes 1, 2, 3, and on the and to beat 3, back to 8th fret, then back to 9th fret. Again, keeping with our theme of hopefully learning to transcend the box of I learned this from a sheet of tablature and I now play it by rote. Major third back to minor third. That's what's going on melodically. So much more to say about that, but I'll leave it at that for right now. An understanding is that you're only learning that to develop your ear. As soon as you hear stuff and as soon as your ears are developed, you're not thinking about anything, you're hearing things. And that's the whole goal. Get the sound in your mind out of the instrument. And not do that, as I just demonstrated. So you're doing that. Then to F sharp minor, measure 53. So it's the same shape. We've already we've learned it. 9, 10, 11, 11. So 1, 2, and on beat 3, my index goes to the 6th string. And on the and to beat 3, pinky up to the 12th fret on the 2nd string. Follow through with the bass on the 4th string. Then your pinky travels down to the 10th fret as the rest of your hands move down to the 7th fret, so it's a B7 bar shape. And now we're going to finish the solo and put an ending on it. So starting at measure 81, it's 10 and 9, because we've just moved up by half step from the ending of the previous lesson. So that's the A tonality, and then move back 1 fret, and then back up. And then back on the and to beat 4, and then back up on beat 1 again, and then back, and then back. So it's dancing between these two sets of frets. And then 8 and 6, and it's going to move up to 9 and 7, and slide back to 8 and 6, and then back to 9 and 7, and then up to 9 and 10, and back to 9 and 7, and back to 8 and 6, and back to 9 and 7, back 1, and then return. And then he goes and adds in the 3rd note on the bass, so it thickens up the sound of that. It gives an octave between the 4th and the 1st strings, and there's still the 3rds between the 2nd and 1st string. So 6 on the 4th string, 6 on the 2nd string. When we were playing that, what makes that an augmented chord? It's that note. So all kinds of good stuff in there to keep you going. But for now, to the click track at half speed and then at full performance tempo.
Bye.